Come on. Yes! Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at Ateez's Not Okay live performance. This happened probably maybe a day or so ago. I'm pretty pumped about it. I saw the music video and made me thoroughly look forward to seeing what their dance is. So we're going to do a full analysis here and live it up just like they are. Let's go ahead and check it out. I appreciate they're in the same fits that they were in for the music video. There's that. It's the Ateez rebellious. What is it? Their Pirates logo, right? Come on. Nice little extra breath there. Want some more. Ooh. He always wears these trench coats, which I love. Wow, with a vibrato from Songhwa? You heard that? Yeah. I'm not okay. Yeah. Okay, we got their dancers. Let's go. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I wanted to see this live. Come on, Wooyoung. This is the part of the song. He didn't go to the floor though. Great modification to that. Nice. God, this is so impressive. Come on. Yes! Yeah! Golly! They don't need to do the full version. That was sick! Golly, that was cool. No one can say, I'm saying this right now, as somebody who has sat through many hours sitting in this chair, analyzing this group, not a single person should be able to say now that this group doesn't understand how to be clean together. Not only that, they're able to do it in one take and they're able to do it live. That is so impressive with a capital I. I love it so much. I'm so glad we got to see this here. Let's talk about it. And this is why, like, complete side note, this is why I like doing marathons. I mean, part of me is like, yes, it can be really dense and it can be a lot. And sometimes you can experience symptoms of burnout with the group. But when it comes to Ateez though, like, I'm very thankful that I did it when I did, so I can appreciate their concert when it came out as well as this as it's come out, because I really feel that I'm able to understand more in depth as to their emotional baggage that they've had to work and navigate through as a group, individually, and see it translate over into a live context is truly captivating and inspiring. And the fact that we get to hear vibrato, very rarely do you hear like shaky vocals. I think maybe from Yeol-san just a little bit, but even then his mic was on, right? And all that, it's just, this is it. Okay, from the top here, let's talk about it. Choreo looks so much better here than in the music video. Shocking to say. Love it. I love how the camera starts with Wooyoung and pans it back to the outside. I love this right here. Notice with the head. Great ISO. It causes a reaction from those around him. Hongjun has entered the chat. Nice little head ISO to the front to help complement what Woo Young did first. And then you see Hongjun literally go back. I love that. Because that really puts a potential strain on your lungs. And he just said, no, thank you. Love it. Double right here. Boom, boom. And notice everybody, I've said this in a couple of videos outside of Ateez, but I'll say it on an Ateez video. They understand now, and this is one facet as to why they have an implicit synchronization involved in their movement quality now compared to like 2020 and earlier. The reason why is because they understand how to make modifications or concessions as a group to where it looks intentional, because it is. And their bodies and how they structure it and how they communicate with each other showcases and reflects that, right? And I love seeing all 8 here. That's just a really nice side note. I enjoy seeing them here. And then from here, I like the little boom, love that. And then notice this nice little reverb accent that took place from Hongjun. That was really cool to see. Then San takes an opposition. Notice everybody drops down. Usage of the breath of the arms as they drop, but then San creates more of an opposition, more of a curve going towards the top. Love that. Great way to showcase him as a feature, and they're still going. He comes up, bum, bum, bum. Don't know what the other members are doing there, but I'm assuming this little motion right here is a great way to signal everybody else to come up. Super nice, and also kudos to them. They held it down the first verse, first chorus, and then verse 2 is when dancers came in. Impressive. Right there, this right here, the boom, come on with that. Not only are they doing a chest rotation, but they are accenting out of it. Go away. God, that's cool. And it looks like instead of chest, they're doing shoulders, which is even more effective to the degree of making it to where they can sing without it being compromised. Because notice if I use my chest, there's a chance that it's going to cause my voice to shake. But if I use my shoulders, I'm not going to have to deal with that as much. So that was a smart decision on San's part. Are you going to let it repeat again? I'm assuming for this was that A for the what is the anarchy? Is that what it is? It's basically Ateez's, rebellion of the A symbol, and I love that. Super cool. This right here, I didn't catch in the music video, but somebody told me, but like the rotation beat again, and I understand this now. His that was way cleaner here than in the music video. So impressive. So impressive. I love this with the rotation in the pool, creating and allowing the collaboration between the feature, Seonghwa, and everybody else to come right here in the center. I love that. And right here, D, and then they branch it over. Very clear. I would say that, of course, one hand, one strip down, and others are to the front. So that would be something to clarify. And then over to the side. Now, this was nice. So you have one person that's kind of being pushed back and the other one that's pushing forward. That was a great choice, having your 3 members. I like that too from Yeosang. It adds something to it. So it makes you naturally want to clock him because he's the only one deviating from the dynamic that's in play, right? So he added something a little extra. Love it. And if you notice, the voice is a little shaky here. That right there. But it's because you can tell he's putting a lot of energy usage of the back, and that's right here around the chest. So that makes total sense why you can hear a little bit of shakiness in his breath. But he's live. This ain't no back vocals we're listening to, so snaps for that. And I love the opposition and the switcheroo, having your 3 members and then having one of them that was in opposition to Yeosang go around the back and then having him feature in the front. Super cool. That was nice. And then a beautiful reveal right here. I like that with Yoonho. Where's Yoonho? Found him. Haha. If you didn't know this, if you have not been a part of my marathon, in which most of it is still on Patreon, by the way, so if I am of any interest to you and how I talk about Ateez, I have so much extra content on Patreon that's not released yet, but it's okay if you just want to hang out here. We're going to have a lot of Ateez because they are always busy, so we're always going to have something to look at. But with Yoonho, I could not find Yoonho to save my life for the majority of that marathon, and I finally found him, and I made it a life goal of mine to make sure I always recognize when he exists in the space. So I'm telling you now, this is Yoonho. Yes, he's one of the taller members, and he's also he's deemed like the cleaner of the group. So if you don't know what a cleaner is, it's somebody who navigates or who like basically audits the choreography to help make sure that everyone's on the same page with how it's supposed to be done. So you can see it in some of their behind the scenes stuff, specifically the behind the wheel part 1, I believe, when they're doing crazy form, you can really see him in action there. That is a very real world, anticlimactic way of communicating and figuring out stuff. Hence why I'm able to have the types of perspective that I have, is because I took a look at that and got to see their behind the scenes, so I can kind of frame my framework that way. But I also live day to day as a cleaner as for a dance studio, so I'm very familiar with it. Anyway, this is Yoonho. We know him. He's cool. Let's move on. So I like that pull. Jungho, of course, with his mic. Hongjun also has his mic, and I always love seeing that because they're able to really hear them very clearly. So I like this, having the 3 there, turning. I love that accent there. Camera guy tried to catch it. He did a good job dropping it down. I love the declaration of this. Notice they're marching, and then the fullness usage of the chest as they engage and bring that up on both sides looks great. Want some more? It feels very triumphant, you know, declarative, and I think I've mentioned that. It looks great. They march here. Really good job on them, because the thing is that with this type of stage, I don't know if they had a rehearsal, maybe, potentially, not sure. But whenever you do that type of rotation, it can be really tricky when you have a feature in the middle to get your front and your back to where they can march and be in line with each other. That's actually a lot trickier to do than you realize, especially if it's not linear, meaning that it's not like straight lines, but you're dealing with like a curvature of the formation. That's impressive. That was really cool. Then having this want some more, like that. Now this build up, we didn't see that first half, but I do like that just usage of the arms, very clear with the geometric type of positions that they have going up and down, side to side. Usage of the torso looks great. Yes, swing that. Right here, boom, boom. I love that, boom, right here. Very clear, going from the pinkies over into the thumbs. Yeah, I love that. Boom, boom, dun, dun. I did say Hala Hala is what this reminded me of. Wonderland, I don't know if I would give this Wonderland. The reason why it feels very Hala Hala is because the marches that they do and the swings that they do in the breakdown after the V takes place, because it's a mix of a V with the march, and Seonghwa does that. And Seonghwa, I think, is one of the ones in the front for that part. Hence why this gave me Hala Hala vibes. But I still like it. It's wonderful by itself. For me, I'm always kind of on the fence when it comes to like really staccato movements in a heavy lack of groove. But here in this case, I think it's completely appropriate, and it showcases fullness and it showcases this pulse very well because they're clean. Truly. I love that, because this right here and how they chose to travel it, really nice, because they showcased and they demonstrated this militant cleanliness at the forefront, and then when they isolated it, we were able to very clearly see it, even though it was a subtle shift, because everyone's on the same page to what degree their torso is going to isolate. So I love that. That right there, Mayo. Did you hear the vibrato? One more time for the people in the back. Ready? One more, just in case. Seonghwa wins best. I mean, here's the thing. Jungho, very good in live vocals, but that vibrato right there gets 2 snaps from me and 2 chef's kiss. That was awesome. Always do that, but that was freaking impressive. Anyway, let's actually look at the choreography and not just the vocals. Then they take it up. Notice the fullness, and then they shot out that leg. And then after shooting it out, they're going to put weight on that leg to bring it backwards, but they're going to turn this into not really a low-key fixed point. Yeah, no, not really. They kind of swing it. Sometimes you see people take this, and then as they rebound off the leg, they turn it into a fixed point by allowing the body to travel around it. But they just made it more of an energy push, just like they did with all of what they did to build up to it. I like that. Boom. Make some noise right here in the groove. And nice they did little chugs there, which was nice, different than the marches, but it allows them to stay in that spot until they need to move, until it's here. I love that. Da, 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 da. Notice even how they're swaying, their weight shifts are also in check, which is really nice to see. They make some noise. They're still keeping it going. Boom. It makes some noise. It's very subtle on the polyrhythmic side, but it's very satisfying, right? They're not doing too much. They're not overkilling it, but they're not deadpan in energy either. It's really nice. Ranging in, boom, da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Subtle. I like that too. Sheesh. That was good. That really nice way to create fullness, to kind of enter into the space, to spread out and engage. Yeah, louder. Notice right by the ears. Love that choice. And then louder, bringing it through. This arm really helps showcase a lot of the framing they've been doing throughout. So that's why, like, for me, I do like it whenever you see a variety of these types of angles, when you're keeping with a particular concept of movement or a type of movement wheelhouse. it's nice to showcase differences in these. Yes, it can be confusing if you're choosing to cover this track, if you're an individual who does K-pop covers. The tricky part about it is going to be knowing which arm you use when and to what extent, because sometimes their range is going to be here, it's going to be here, sometimes it's going to be here, sometimes it's going to be a swing. So your engagement and where your energy is going to be placed is going to be slightly different. That's okay, but that's what makes it, you know, digestible. It makes it captivating, but it doesn't feel, what's the word? Mundane, right? Because they're not doing the exact same thing. They're just kind of teetering around different avenues of a concept with the hand or the arm, which I like. It's cool. I like that boom here. And notice that they added a little legato wave situation of the shoulder, which was cool. Hitting it here, boom, boom, down. I'm not okay now. Very nice. It's like, oh, I have a fever, like that. You know, once again, louder, but you know, some instead of going louder with the full hand, they went more with the finger, so it feels more like louder, kind of like that. I like that choice. Ding ding, and then they bring it around, arm extends forward, boom, drop it down, looks great. That I'm not okay. And they take it here. Of course, you notice the range is a little off, but I love that, not okay. Hongjoon. I like that they kept the laugh and it's nice, and then you have it pan to Hongjoon. He's entering front. You have your dancers here. Are they BB tripping? Always a high chance, because BB tripping is like glue with Ateez. Which, complete side note, because I know that at some point there is, you know, hopefully there would be a Streetman Fighter season 2. BB Trippin' would be a great choice to be put on that show, because you had a lot of really notable Streetman Fighter crews, just like in season 2 of Street Woman Fighter, you had a lot of really great established groups. So I think that having a lot of these like core teams of choreographers or dancers, you know, like BB Trippin', excuse me, do the show, I think would be really fun. And of course, I'm always hoping for a Jam Republic male equivalence, because I know that that means Sean Liu would be a part of that as well. And Sean Liu is a freaking powerhouse, and I just think it'd be fun to see him in a show format like that, because you don't see him in a lot of that kind of stuff, but he's really busy too. So anyway, just a complete irrelevant side note, but all that to say, this is really good. I like BB Trippin' on Ateez. I've always said that ever since like I've been seeing their work on them. It just works really well, because you can see it's just molded really, really well on them. I like this little dig of energy on this. I like that boom, the shift of tension looks really nice. Really showcase on Hongjoon's lyricism there. The great switch. Of course, it's really hard. They go in and out of the movement. I like that, with a nice little bend there. Honestly, it kind of feels like it tailors a little bit into some of the music video kind of camera shots. You know, there's a lot of these hinges, and there's a lot of this, you know, he was glued to his phone, so there's a lot of that kind of imagery, not really in the phone sense, but in kind of like the resistance of it, which is cool. Like that boom, boom, and then we drop the energy there, uses it of the chest. I love the little pas de bourrée action, looks cool. That boom, I really like this groove, that looks cool. Yeah, looks super cool. Break it down, ooh, that looks cool, I like it. Da-na-na-na. Yeah, there's Mingi right there. You can tell he's rapping. He got a little bit ahead of the backtrack, but he's live. And I like that there's more dancers to help reinstate with Mingi to build up the energy of verse 2. One there, boom. Notice that their movement is not as resistant, not as hinged, but more full. But it's because there's a lot of sound that's happening in the track that's building up that energy as well. It looks super cool. Bringing it around, framing him towards the inside, throwing the energy to and fro. I really like it. It could be catering towards, you know, his section in the music video. I didn't get a really good look at the choreography. Good chance it is the same. And they are creating that circle around him just like the stage fright. Well, not stage fright, but just like that, you know, he's on that stage just like Woo Young was, and having them surround is very similar. So I like the imagery there. Not what it means, because it's not good for people to feel that way, but I appreciate the intention of the imagery in a live context. But I love the swings here, having it rotate between people. I love that. Back to the members, and they go, nice moment here. Once again, we're in the heads, but notice instead of just a rotation, they're creating like a nice little figure 8. It just tailors well. But then notice with Woo Young, he's the only one facing front, and that's why for them to move their head as much doesn't create as much of a distraction. In comparison, if they were all facing front doing it, it would be harder to find Woo Young. But because he's the only face we see, it's easy to clock, which I like. And they're all facing one way. He goes over to the side, they drop down. Oh, he does drop. just the camera didn't catch it, because originally I thought he didn't drop it all, and it was just a concession he made because of the camera angle that they had in the music video was angled up like he had fallen on purpose. But I do like that. It was very quick, nice little drop from everybody, and then he goes and joins it back in the group. Right here, back with Seonghwa. Then nice little break. San's in the front and center for. Really great. Spacing is freaking great, guys. I mean, look, this is good. So notice that you have your 2, and then your 2, or your tripod, and then your 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. Where's my 8th? Where's my 8th member? There's 8 members. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Where's my 8th member? Yeah, they're not there. Oh, is it Jungho? Jungho, I don't think's in this. It's everybody else. Yeah, I know he's supposed to be like, I think he has to be careful still, which I totally respect. The build there, boom, boom. Notice, gosh, guys, look at the torso. Goodness gracious, that's awesome. Bringing it up and down, and there's Jungho right here. Bringing it through, boom. I love this. Yes, and this right here, notice San is a little bit more subdued. Normally I would see more of like this hinge, this animalistic kind of hinge of the torso, and especially San can do it well because of how his posture is in his techniques that he normally caters to. But he's actually more of one of the more resisted ones. It could be because he is a featured vocal at this point, potentially. But I also appreciate the fact, even though he feels like he's an outlier, he's not, because Jungho had his moment, and then he's right there finishing up the choreography to create beautiful symmetry on the side. So this was awesome. Love that. Yep, not okay. Not okay. That makes sense why he resisted this a little bit more than he would normally, is because he was singing. He had to maintain a stable vocalization. And then you have Yoonho coming in. Da-da-da. Everybody hit. He goes. He comes forward. Boom, boom. Nice little chest tap. They go take it up. I'm wondering if they had it up and then they like slam that thumb down. I wonder if that's what they do. But this is truly wonderful. I'm so glad this was found. I'm so glad they have a performance version of this so we can all appreciate it together. This was great. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more Ateez, and you may notice that my YouTube's a little bit on the scare side at this point in time, is because most, if not all, of my Ateez reactions are hanging out on Patreon. I have at least I think only about 1/5 of the reactions are on YouTube. I have like well over 40 to 50 on Patreon right now waiting for you to take a look at. I've looked at their entire major track discography and most of their B-sides at this point, and their most recent concert. I think it was Seoul Day 1, the entire concert I've looked at. So I'm very, very familiar with them. I know all of their names at this point, which is great. I have really studied their movement quality from where they started in pre-debut all the way until this right here. This has been so fun for me, and it's stuff like this that makes marathons worthwhile, because I have a appropriate context going into exactly to what degree the lore we're talking about, what world we're in. I believe this is world A, because it is talking about a lot of the imagery that was in their diary film, which is on Patreon exclusively right now. It will come out eventually, but not now. So I have seen that, so I understand the lore to that extent, and there's a lot of imagery in the music videos that cater to that as well. So if you want in, Patreon's there for you. If not, that's okay. Discussions in YouTube are super fun and super fine as well. Once again, my name is Jess. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.